sure.
All right, welcome. This is the finals of Grand Prix Providence, brought to you by TJ Collectibles. That's tjcollect.com. We're watching the Legacy Finals. We're going to be watching James Rynkiewicz, who is playing the No Force of Will back deck. And his opponent is Bryan Eleyet, and he is playing Hive Mind. That's right, Hive Mind's in the top 2 decks of this tournament.
Yeah.
In the booth, Rashad Miller, Gavin Verhey, and Alex Berncini.
What's up, guys?
This
is pretty intense. This is the finals of a Grand Prix, and
if you're
find out.
And if you're watching the recording of this, we feel like Bryan with Hive Mind has the advantage here.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. It looks like Bryan won the dice roll too, which is even better for him. So windswept teeth from James.
What do you feel, Rashad? Do you feel that Bryan is favored in this matchup?
Unfortunately, James will have a lot of ways to interact with this deck.
Yeah.
So he is at the mercy of what Bryan can bring to the confrontation.
There's a City and a Grim Monolith from Bryan Eleyet.
City Grim Monolith.
And Bryan has Emrakul in his hands. So if he drops...
It just needs a couple more Grim Monoliths than City Trees.
No,
So
he can hard cast Hive Mind next turn.
And play a pact.
And pay for days.
Yep.
With the land,
and
he has a red
backup.
pact.
And he's got a blue pact too, I think.
Oh my god.
So he doesn't even need to pay for days. He can just pact his. He can just pack the days.
Pretty unbelievable. I mean,
you guys can play Merfolk. It's a good matchup. We beat the Hive Mind deck. Don't worry, guys.
Merfolk seems like a good matchup, but we saw this matchup. We watched it. Merfolk versus Hive Mind earlier this weekend.
So what did James?
He said he went 3-2 against Merfolk the weekend. He said the only matches Hive Mind players lost to this point is Merfolk.
Right. So it looks like James brainstorms there, finding a copy of Days, which is going to be huge.
It's gonna help.
But it could be huge, but I don't think it's actually going to be.
I don't think it's. He should save the days.
It's a wasteland though. He found a wasteland. The wasteland.
Ooh, the wasteland.
The wasteland
is huge.
Yep. You better play that wasteland.
He has to play the wasteland. Oh.
He is not playing the wasteland.
He didn't play the wasteland.
No, you always got to wasteland the City Traders. Just because it's gonna die next turn, there won't be a next turn.
Right.
But what do you think about next turns in a Hive Mind deck?
When your opponent plays City Traders, you might not untap again.
Now, James can always use his days to daze his copy of the pact from the Hive Mind trigger.
Well, if he has 2 dazes, he's fine.
Well, it doesn't matter how many dazes he has.
No, but one daze.
He has to have a daze and an extra mana for each daze that he uses.
And we were talking about this is very important before the match. It's a way that pretty much the only way to deal with the pact triggers. But I think we're going to see this turn. And
is that a Lord of Atlantis? Oh, what is this card that was? No, what? What is? No, not. It's not Lord. What card was that was just played? It looks like an alternate art.
It's Birds of Paradise.
Oh,
it's foil buy a box. All right, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
There it is. Scratch your head with that one.
5, 6. Hive Mind. James.
I think that City of Traders should be in the graveyard right now. Okay, it's
City of Traders goes to the graveyard.
Okay, so we got a mana up for that daze. He should be saving that daze for himself, but it's not going to matter.
Oh boy, James, time to read.
Now, if James has 2 dazes, I don't even think it matters because Bryan has a pact in his hand. I think the game is over right here.
Oh, they're debating. They're debating the mana, guys. Let's look.
So City Traders goes on the stack, right? The ability.
No, yes.
No, it does.
Yeah.
So you could respond to it by tapping mana.
There's no way he can punt that. Okay.
All right. So here comes Hive Mind. James is like, uh-oh.
Yeah, I mean, if I was James, I'd probably be like, one time. I don't know. I mean, you don't know. That card's been like errata. Like it says on the card, it doesn't go on the stack. It just says dies. When you play land, it dies. I don't know how it's exact word, but it doesn't look like it goes on the stack on the City Trader.
And there's Pact the Titan for Bryan Eleyet.
Right, for those of you who don't know what Hive Mind says.
We can both have a 4/4.
It says whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery spell, each other player copies that spell. Each of those players may choose new targets for his or her copy.
So when you play a pact, that means that they copy the entire pact, and they have to pay the cost of the pact or lose the game next turn.
Exactly. During their next upkeep, they have to pay the cost for the pact trigger, or they lose the game. So now you can see that James tried to daze his own copy of the pact, and which triggers Hive Mind also, and he uses his copy of daze to counter James's daze.
Yep.
And James cannot pay for that.
And that's it. Bryan, in lightning quick fashion, wins this game. We might not have a very long finals here, folks.
I mean,
it's
what you were saying. Game one is not very good.
I think between games 1 and games 2, James's deck is going to look very different.
Yeah.
And maybe he wasn't very prepared, and if he really wanted to blame someone for not being as prepared as he could have been for the Hive Mind matchup, I think he should blame Kibler.
It's his fault, isn't it?
It is Kibler's fault. And GamingExcellent.com wants you to blame Kibler. You can join them on Facebook and Blaming Kibler at tinyurl.com/blame Kibler. And you can check out GamingExcellent.com to pick up all your Blame Kibler apparel, like T-shirts, binders. I believe they're also going to get hats. Maybe I'm getting a hat. Maybe it's just me that's getting a hat. I don't know if those are going to be available for everyone. If they
don't, blame Kibler for it.
Yep, and if they're not, blame Kibler. And if you're looking to pick up some of that apparel or some other cards that you need for your Hive Mind deck, use coupon code GG's Live and you get 10% off your entire purchase.
Seems like a deal.
10% is a lot of percents.
Especially if you're buying Hive Mind.
Yeah, you
you
can
can at least save 10 cents though.
Yeah.
10%. I think
Hive
that's how
Minds
much
are a
the
dime a
matchup goes up
dozen.
for,
Or actually, they're
James after sideboard.
Yeah, I mean,
10%
so James gets a little bit of edge here. He gets to bring in Spell Pierce, which kind of serves like Daze, the same function.
Yep. He's
Helps
gonna bring in
counterspell.
I believe he's going to bring the 3 Spell Pierce, a Dispel, the Gadok Teague.
I think the mental misstep probably comes in too.
Yep.
Like
That's 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
One of the big things we're talking about before the match, though, is that Bryan's only one cast to cost spells are Brainstorm and Ponder. None of his combo pieces cost 1, which is huge because all the other combo decks, you have like Dark Rituals, Rite of Flames, you have Elves, Glimpse of Nature, Tireless Tribe. Bryan conveniently played a deck that was not soft to mental misstep, which is I think has probably been a big secret to success this week.
It's very true. Yeah, I mean, it's a combo deck that's resistant to mental misstep, and that there aren't very many other ones like it.
Yeah.
Like even decks like the Goblin Welder deck are very, very susceptible to mental misstep. Goblin Welders, Grindstones, and all that stuff. If you see how many mental missteps are in the top 8 of this Grand Prix, you really have to be considering this card in all future Legacy. You're gonna be playing Legacy for years and years, and I adapt differently all of a sudden because of this card being printed.
Yeah, I mean, in the Actinian Star City Games Open tournaments, it's the same thing. It's just all kinds of mental missteps. Also, once again, not only misstep, but Spell Snare, a card that's picked up a ton of popularity. There's one card that hits right with Grim Monolith. That's it.
Spell Snare.
Grim Monolith is a pretty big one to hit.
It is important,
but it's not the game. It's not the game.
Right, and
Brainstorm, Ponder, and Grim Monolith are all great cards in the deck, obviously. But I mean, he can perfectly go off fine without them.
Right, and he only has 3. Like,
I mean, like I said, these. James Eddy wishes he had 4 Force Wells now.
Yeah, I mean, he's gotten to the finals on the back of no forces, but it's starting to hurt him.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit more about James' deck. I know we've been concentrating on Hive Mind because his deck it's the new cool thing, but James made it to the finals of this Grand Prix with a bad deck without playing Force of Will, which people have said is probably one of at least the 3 most influential cards in Legacy.
I believe it's the most influential card in Legacy.
I think you can make arguments for Brainstorm or Wastelands.
I think that if Brainstorm didn't exist in Legacy, there would be many of the same decks still in Legacy. Where if it's a Force of Will, there would be a lot more Belcher decks and Ad Nauseam decks.
Yeah, and maybe this deck is proof that maybe Force of Will isn't.
I think Force of Will
is
one of the most used cards in Legacy, but I think the most influential one is probably.
But it's really interesting. I actually stayed with someone who knows James. His name is Jesse Mason, and earlier today he came up to me. He was like, "Oh, my friend is like doing really well with this no Force of Will band deck." I'm like, "Wait, no, well, Jesse, whatever." Like, sure.
Come on, you're playing blue and not Force of Will.
And then like later he made top 8, and it just didn't sink in. And then like later I come here, I see this deck list, I'm like, oh. This is the deck list. Like there are actually no Force of Wills in this deck list. Sure. And I think a lot of players would have come to this conclusion.
James was working on this deck and testing it in upstate New York for a while, and he's won a Legacy tournament with it, and him and a couple of his friends were playing it, and another one of his friends finished 11th place in this Grand Prix. Yeah. Top 16, 11th place. One win away from top 8 with the same 75. Not a single card different. Same 75.
I think a lot has to do with there not being as many combo decks. Legacy went through not too long ago. There was a point in time where Legacy was just combo.
Yeah.
And if you're playing against a combo deck, if you're playing against a traditional combo deck, and you're not, and it's in Legacy, and you're not packing Force of Wills, you're probably going to lose turn 1 or turn 2.
The lessened popularity of combo is a result of mental misstep.
Right.
A lot of these combo decks revolve around mental misstep. So mental misstep being printed reduced the necessity for Force of Wills in this deck because of the less combo decks.
Yeah, if you're Force of Willing a spell turn 1 or 2, and it's not like an integral part of a combo, you're basically just 2 for 1 of yourself. If you like Force of Will your Tarmogoyf, that never feels good.
That never feels good. No. And here we go, guys. The players are ready to go. Looking at their opening hands, and James will be on the play this game.
Looks like James' hands, I see 2 lands, Green Sun Zenith, Brainstorm. Looks like a Spell Pierce. I think this is probably James is going to keep. It has the cards he needs. He can get Gaddock Teague. He's got a Spell Pierce.
Yep. I mean, you can't just mulligan to find permission when you don't have Force of Will. It's not like you can mulligan into forces.
Well, Brian ships his hand away.
All right. Disciplined combo player will know when to send it back.
Yep, it's very important, especially like when you've got a deck this powerful. We saw last game, Brian won on turn 3 with very few cards. Just land, Grim Monolith, land.
If all those cards weren't there, it would have been the same thing.
Yeah. Now, obviously, like having the protection is good, but you can still go off bare minimum. That Spell Pierce in James' hand will throw a kink in the works.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this seems like the kind of hand James needs. On the play, Spell Pierce, opponent mulliganing. Seems like this is where he needs to be in this matchup, which is sad, but I mean, like, it's how he has game in this matchup, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, getting Brian to mulligan is definitely a good start. First PTQ I ever won, I had a really bad matchup in the finals. My opponent just mulliganed to 5 game 4, or game 2, and then 4 game 3, and that was that. So, you know.
Wow. That is Magic the Gathering for you.
You know, it happens. It's a game where we draw cards off the top of our decks, and that's part of what makes it fun, I think, is that obviously, like, it's not fun to mulligan down to 4 for Bryan Eleyet if that's what you were to do here, but you know, it helps, like just like Mana Screw, I think it helps keep the game.
If there was no variance, there would be
chance.
the same 16 people in the top 16s.
Right, like I mean, you look at Versus System, for example. It's just a game where like it's just so dependent on play skill, you know.
Yep, that's true. It's so true.
And you know, look at chess. I mean, chess is supposed to be a game like that. Magic is not. That's a very key difference. So Brian's going.
Sports.
So Brian's going down to 6 here.
Don't draw 7. 6, 7.
So drawing 7 in the finals of a GP would be pretty bad.
Yeah.
Please don't do that.
Forced mulligan, I believe. 2 random cards go out.
Is he thinking? His hand looks like there's a lot of lands. All right, he's keeping. So Windswept Heath goes away for James. And does he have Noble Hierarch in that hand, or is he going to Brainstorm?
I did not see. I couldn't tell.
I can't imagine James would go for the turn 1 Brainstorm. That's a play a lot of players just think is not great.
It's got to be a Noble Hierarch.
Yeah, it's got to be Noble
Maybe
Hierarch.
Birds of Paradise. There's a lot of those cards in this deck, right? Yep. Or it could be a Green Sun Zenith for 0.
Yep.
Oh, he does have the Zenith, as we mentioned earlier. So here comes Dryad Arbor. So here's a trivia question: how many times does Green Sun Zenith shuffle your deck?
Twice.
Twice. It's true. So with all I'm saying, if it's popular, you play Kosi's Trickster.
Wait, does it actually say search, shuffle, and then after it says shuffle?
So Psychogenic Probe, Kosi's Trickster, really good metagame cards against Green Sun Zenith.
The juices and Rashad's juices are going. He's like,
but Kosi's Trickster is when the opponent shuffles, right?
Yeah.
Bank on your opponent doing
no,
it.
it's a metagame call, right?
Don't even say
I mean, yeah.
Curse Catcher is irreplaceable.
Yes.
Curse Catcher will counter that Zenith. How does that sound?
All right, so Dryad Arbor comes down for James off that lovely Zenith for 0, and Brian just has Pluto Delta Pass.
Yep.
And there's Misty Rainforest for James.
He says go. That's it. Just says go.
Yep, it says shuffle twice.
Yep. Yeah, you shuffle twice. So do you want to search for the creature and second one to shuffle it back into the deck? So there you go. Kosi's Trickster. Heard it here first. Or Psychogenic Probe. Either one works.
It's a counter for your opponent.
I mean, technically, Mind's Desire shuffles many times.
Oh yeah, dude.
Some people have been known to shortcut that one.
Yeah, Psychogenic Probe against Mind's Desire. What could possibly go wrong? So it looks like Brian's hand. I see an island. I think is that an ancient tomb? Yeah, I think that's an ancient tomb. Let's see what he's doing here. Cracked his fetch.
Basic island. Has no need to go.
Draws Hive Mind.
He has no need to go for that volcanic island, as we discussed.
Just for paying for packs.
Just to pay for that pact.
Good reason.
He's done a very good job of not drawing them, though. That's for sure.
So when James doesn't attack with his Dryad Arbor here, does that tell you Vendelion Click might be on the way?
Interesting. Maybe.
All right, so down comes Grim Monolith for Bryan Eleyet, and Brian drew Hive Mind this turn, so he could cast Hive Mind next turn. Now, granted, James has a Spell Pierce.
I mean, like I said, James. If you look at James's deck, he has 0 hard counters. Unconditional. Like, aside from mental misstep, which is a conditional counter, he has no unconditional hard counters. 0.
Yeah. Yep.
So if James Elliott, if Bryan Eleyet here just leaves mana open to pay for a daze or to pay for a spell pierce or whatever he may put his opponent on, there is no way that he can stop it.
Or if he just has, if it's targeting a hive mind, he can just use a pact, a blue pact. Uses blue pact on getting the hive mind in play, then use your red pact to win the game.
Right.
Yep.
So, but it looks like Grim Monolith eats that spell pierce this time around. So Monolith goes down.
Monolith is down.
And James has a pretty stout hand. There's a daze sitting there too. So if Ryan doesn't have a backup spell, he could daze his a potential pact copy. And James trying to maybe figure out, do you think you go for the brainstorm here?
He's a lot of mana open. For James, you mean, right?
For James, you think he goes for the brainstorm?
I mean, I would try and put more pressure on my opponent. Like I said, I'm sure James is aware himself that he can't hard counter a single spell in his deck.
It looks like
I feel like the longer this game goes, the less chance James has of winning.
Right.
Like, and he needs to put a clock. And Tarmogoyf, 3/4 Tarmogoyf will do the job.
Yeah, I mean, the way these bad decks work like we were talking about earlier, is that they're all about pressing the advantage. You get a guy down, you support it with some tempo cards like Daze, and without
an equipment, anything. Yeah.
Right, and without a clock. So James I think he has Vanillion Click in his hand, and this is one of my favorite plays actually. An extended, standard, or not standard, extended and legacy is Vanillion Click in response to a fetch land crack, because you always know they're going to cast something. When they crack a fetch land on their turn, you can just click them in response.
Click, click, boom.
All right, so here comes Vanillion Click. And let's see what Bryan Eleyet
So we're
does.
in his main phase right now in response to a fetch land?
In response to a fetch land.
It's pretty sweet.
That's my favorite time to cast.
Very, very saucy one.
So it looks like we see...
Eeny, meeny, miny, hive mind.
So Ponder, Hive Mind, Pact of Negation, Island, Scalding Tarn are the cards flopped down by Bryan Eleyet here.
This doesn't seem like a particularly hard decision.
Yeah, I think you have to ship that Hive Mind.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he's got the Hive Mind in his hand. He's thinking about it. Well, you're in the finals of a Grand Prix. You want to make sure you're not just making some idiotic mistake.
Yeah.
But
you want to look at like how your opponent's been playing. Like, what do you think your opponent's gonna do this turn? And it's easier to do that when you're looking at your opponent's cards than when you write it down.
Yeah.
So like he's looking at his opponent's hand. He's scoping out what he thinks he's gonna do and what he could do based on what he draws off that Vanillion Click.
Right. I mean, well, yeah.
So he knows fully well he's taking that Hive Mind. He's just probably just double checking, seeing what his opponent's gonna do.
Yeah, the draw of that Vanillion Click is so huge because you know everything -1. He could have just drawn another Hive Mind. Like, you have to be very careful. Think about what could possibly be going on.
Think about what he's gonna want to ponder.
Right. Plus, that Ponder could easily find something too. You have to be very careful when you're doing this play. So looks like he's gonna ship the Hive Mind.
He's gonna write that down.
All right. So he writes down the other 4 cards. And once again, if you aren't doing this already, whenever you see your opponent's hand, always write down what's in it. You don't want to be the guy who accidentally forgets what you saw.
For those of you who pay attention, for me, when an opponent duresses or thought seizes me, I also write down the cards in my hand that they saw, so I know perfectly well which cards which cards I know they're playing around.
And which cards, what order you should play them in too. Because
I know I've seen a bunch of other pro players also do this. That they'll write down the cards that your opponent has seen in your own hand.
Right. You don't want to accidentally play a land that they didn't know about.
Or show them the wrong card off Silver Galad when you've already showed them a different one.
Sure. So
things as small as that.
Bryan cracks a Flooded Strand here.
Yep. Now, the Dryad Arbor could have been attacking for 2 turns now, right?
Yes. Now this turn it makes sense to keep it up because he wants to be able to pay for days.
Mm-hmm. The last turn he could have played.
Now I don't know how he could get a Hive Mind down this turn though.
The City of Traders.
No.
The fetch land, you just play the fetch land and sacked it, or was the fetch land already in play?
He just cracked. He just played fetch land and cracked it.
Okay, so I mean, maybe this is 2 points of damage you could have done. Yeah, no, you must cut it here.
I mean, I think James might be playing a little scared here. He's really worried about Bryan going off, but I don't think there's any way he could have gone off this turn.
Yep.
So I think attacking...
This is exactly what you want to do. This is why the mental missteps stay in, because it doesn't seem like much to only be able to counter Ponder and Brainstorm. But remember, these are combo decks. They thrive.
Oh no! Sorry.
He's got a misstep back.
We got caught up in what was going on. He has another click on Bryan's turn after he cracked his fetch line.
Yeah, he just got his fetch line for that he responded to. And now he's continuing with his main phase.
Yeah, so now in his main phase, he's continuing with the Ponder.
Right.
Misstep battle.
Yeah.
I think I would have misstepped for life in case you peel a show and tell.
So it looks like is that Force Pact land or Force Scalding Tarn land? Regardless of what it is, he's going to shuffle it away.
Land force a will.
And if you want to shuffle it away, get that hive mind a little closer to the top of his library.
Sure, it was on the bottom, don't forget.
Yeah. And so, that one ponder, we've seen some crazy things come off of one ponder.
That's what he drew out the Vendilion click. It was that mental misstep to fight that mental misstep.
Yep.
It's one of the more common cards that gets countered with mental misstep is itself.
Yeah, it's funny. Everyone
They designed that one well.
in these misstep wars. All right, so he draws Grim Monolith. That's a good one. Now he's got no hive mind to accelerate with it, but
you know, you can just play it right now, just to be ready.
now, or he's maybe worried about getting dazed though.
I wouldn't play it right now, especially because he's gonna also take 2 damage. That might change the clock.
And plus, he does not have a hive mind right now, so I think he can just
Certainly
sit and
does not
wait.
play it.
I think Bryan probably has at least 2 or 3 more turns until he really has to start worrying.
Yeah.
So he's got time to build up his resources.
Sure. I mean, if he attacks with the Arbor and the Vanilla Click alone, is that the only things he does? It's a 4-turn clock.
Yeah. Looks like James found another Green Sun Zenith here. Gonna shuffle twice again when he casts it.
Oh, Green Sun Zenith. Now this Green Sun Zenith will probably go for a Gadok Teeg.
Yeah, Teague.
But again, it's still not. You know, I mean, he's
It's
still
not the
in his
end
hand.
all at all.
It's not the end, but I mean, he sees that he knows doesn't know one of the cards in his opponent's hand. He knows 2 of them, and it would have to be a show and tell and an Emrakul. So like now with a Gadok Teeg in play, his opponent just can't randomly raw dog a hive mind and get him. So I mean, this game looks pretty good for James, I'd say, just on the fact that of all the loopholes that Bryan has to go through to win through a Gadok Teeg.
Yeah, I mean, Bryan can beat a Gadok Teague, but the cards in his hand just don't help him towards that goal right
And
now.
James knows that. James saw them.
Yep.
So.
Good old Vendilion
Information
click.
is everything.
Yes.
And now Gadok Teeg will make the clock a turn faster.
Sun Tzu says all warfare is deception, but Bryan doesn't have a lot of deceiving to be able to do here.
Know thine enemy.
Yeah. All right, so I think Ancient Tomb drawn by Bryan there, not exactly what he was looking for. So, I mean, probably play the Monolith.
Yeah, I would use the 2 blue mana to play the Monolith.
And the question is, do you want to play a fetch land first?
No.
Or the
I would play
island?
the Monolith. So maybe you go force it. Maybe James will daze it and want him to pay the Ancient 2 mana to pay 2 life.
Right.
And meanwhile, he won't. He'll just let the Ancient thing die. Like he would let the Grim Monolith fizzle. He wouldn't pay the daze, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
Or just not play the Monolith at all. Either way. Keep his opponent guessing, because James does not know he has that Monolith in his hand.
Sure. Yeah, you don't want to give him plenty of information.
At this point, I don't think
at
at this point, he's definitely not coming out of the Monolith because he can't play. He has no way in his deck to kill that Gadok Teeg. So this one, he's only looking for show and tell Emrakul. So playing that Grim Monolith is totally useless right now.
Right.
It's only show and tell Emrakul that can do it right now.
Let's see. Yeah, he doesn't have. Look at the deck. I guess he has
no way of killing it.
Yeah, he can't deal with the Gadok Teeg.
It was interesting before. He had Owen had a meddling mage in play, and the only way he could get rid of the meddling mage was with Luan.
He didn't board in Luan's, did he?
I don't think so.
All right, there's Sylvan
But
Library for James. Give him
Owen
even more
named
guess.
Show and tell, and then he got Hive Mind.
Yep. Yeah, Show and Tell does conveniently get around that Gadok Teeg.
Yep. So he just drew Pact of the Titan. So ladies and gentlemen out there, you can occasionally draw a Pact of the Titan and Summoner's Pact when you don't have a Hive Mind in play, and have some very awkward draws.
But here it's sick. James is going to attack and he's going to play Pact and block. He's going to play that Scalding Tarn, and he's going to eat that Gadok Teeg alive.
That's true, but then he's dead because he takes 4.
I mean, it's just sweet.
It's sweet, yes.
I mean, maybe you don't want to show your opponent that you know that play exists.
Gadok
but...
Teeg is going to be very surprised by a big giant beating him up.
All right, so here comes Grim Monolith, probably. I mean, I don't think Bryan can win if he makes that play, but it's a pretty sweet play.
If you're dead on board, you do what you have to do.
It's probably actually better to not do it, because if you're going to lose, then like you don't want to show him that play exists, because like then next time he's going to be thinking about it the whole time.
That's true, yeah. Even if you show and tell Progenitus now, he might be dead on, like, at next turn, like, if he draws it. It's like not an auto win like the other one is. Like, he actually has to hit them for 15 with Emrakul. Note that James at 16, capable to survive a Progenitus hit. I keep saying Progenitus, Emrakul hit.
And
Capable of surviving an Emrakul hit.
There's Grim Monolith for Bryan. And looks like players are thinking. I mean, so what do you think? This is kind of interesting. When he attacks next turn, let's see, he can play the pact, take 4 damage, drop to 3, and yeah, then he's just dead on the crackback.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like,
So like there's
no real point in playing it because then even there's nothing he can draw. They'll save him.
right, nothing.
If he draws Hive Mind, he can place Hive Mind, packs his opponent, and he just pays 5.
I mean, he can't even pack them because he's only packed negation.
Yep.
Yeah, I think this game's over for Bryan. And
Sure.
I don't think he should show him the pack thing, just in case. James is a very smart player, but you don't want to give him any extra things to think about, you know?
Yeah, it's true. I mean,
Now, although unless you think that having him not attack next game is going to be relevant, right? Or like he's like, well, I can't attack. I don't want to attack in game 3 because he might have packed on me, you know?
that's interesting.
So,
yeah, I think I would use the pact here. That sounds much smarter, actually. No, because if you use the pact, yeah, I would definitely do that. That's definitely the right play.
I mean, we'll see what happens.
You're saying that if he attacks, he should play the pact to maybe scare him next game to not attack.
I mean, we'll see. Like, James is a very smart player. I'm sure he's already thinking through his
Yeah.
possibilities. He didn't immediately attack, making sure that he's thinking about it, you know? All right, so he attacks. Bryan's going to make a 4/4 giant.
He's going to be very selfish this time and choose not to give his opponent a 4/4 Titan as well.
I mean, sometimes you got to be greedy.
Sometimes.
All right, so there's back to the Titan.
Judge, we need a 4/4 giant token.
Got any?
Do you have that one?
Yeah, I think there's a 4/4 giant token. I'm pretty sure. If not, there's always Fulmari Nomad. Looks like close enough.
Oh man, you're too pro with this.
I think Rashad probably has a Rashad token.
Yeah, he goes, yeah, I got your 4/4 giant token right there. Oh, his favorite. You see the altar one? Rashad Miller's altered pact. Run, Ray.
All right, so looks like Pact of the Titan happens,
Let's just hope it resolves.
and Lewis.
I'm hoping it resolves.
Let's see, give some
I mean, the thing
Rashad
is,
Miller
if-
some
the thing is,
time there. Bam!
If he counters it, then he doesn't have to pay for it.
He says, like, no, it's not in play
I
yet.
think it's still on
Did
the
you see what
stack.
just happened?
It's still on the stack.
Oh, okay. That must be
It's
it.
on the
That
stack.
must be
That's
it.
got to be the
That
reason.
must be it.
It's got to be still on the stack. That's the only reason. No one refuses it.
I think James is thinking about it. Yeah. Let's see. So he's looking at days. Now, if you're James here, I think I don't know. I think you just let it resolve. Yeah, he just lets it resolve.
Yeah, you go.
Yeah.
Getting some camera time, Rashad. Getting some camera time.
This
There
is
you
the
are.
first time we've seen Tuxedo and Top Hat Rashad on camera.
Tuxedo and Top Hat Rashad. Is that the token's name?
is.
Tuxedo and Top Hat
We'll call him Old Bean Rashad for sure.
Penguin Rashad.
We just need a monocle and to complete the trifecta.
Old Bean.
All right.
So we're about to see the Old Bean beat up Old Gadok Teague there.
Let's see.
And now he's gonna take 4 and he's gonna take 5 because he has to sack that fetch land
Sure.
to get a
To be able to pay
volcanic
for.
island.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
can choose not to pay for his pact.
he
That might be
could.
better than taking a damage.
That's a classy way to go. I mean, I'm looking at his deck list. See if there's any chain of events that can have him win. And I don't think. I guess. What if he brainstormed into the perfect cards? Would it be possible if he brainstormed perfectly? No, it's not possible, right? Because he has to tap 5 mana this turn.
You can't use the Ancient Tomb. 'Cause
Yep.
he'll
Can't use the Ancient Tomb, and his Grim Monolith will be tapped to pay for it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, he'll have 2 mana untapped. I mean, there's nothing.
It'll be Brainstorm, City of Traders, Show and Tell Emrakul. That's
Now,
4 cards.
James could always forget to attack. Like, that could happen.
Yeah, true. You could be scared of another pact.
I mean, like, just forget.
Yeah.
Looks like James is thinking before passing turn. He's got Wasteland, Days, something else sitting there. Bryan Eleyet at 3 life, soon to be 2 life because he has to crack that Scalding trying to find Volcanic Island.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Wasteland.
Wasteland.
That will not stop him from losing the game.
I mean,
but
it won't stop, but it.
I mean,
why would you kill that?
Yeah, why'd you kill the Ancient Tomb?
Well-
The Ancient Tomb cannot add mana anymore.
I mean, I think he's just going through the motions, but
Yeah. Show his opponent he left the Wastelands in.
I don't think you board land out.
La-
It's still a land. Land's a land.
I know. I'm kidding. Last game you should have wastelanded the City Traders.
Although to be fair, like there's always the theory of like if you feel a matchup is very bad, you should sideboard out a couple lands because
to try to get lucky.
Because you have to get lucky to win the match. Like this actually happens in top of the Pro Tours. And
it's also the reverse is sometimes you if you have a really sick draft deck and sometimes
you
play
extra
more
lands
because you know the only way you're gonna lose is if you get mana
screwed. If you just have a ton of bombs, there's no reason to like randomly lose by getting mana screwed in one game. You know
exactly. You're gonna win if you get mana flooded because of your bombs.
You want to be able to control your luck in some sense, and you can't always control your luck, but you can certainly mitigate it by playing certain numbers of lands. So if you sideboard out some lands, that means that you just have a higher chance of getting lucky. And maybe it's not an optimal strategy.
It doesn't happen very often
the time.
But
if you got a bad matchup, it's fine to do.
And if Bryan Eleyet is thinking that much into it, he's certainly doing the wrong thinking.
Yeah. Let's see. So he pays and then ponders with one of his extra blue mana, but there's nothing he can find.
Nope.
Unless he misregistered his deck list, which seems very unlikely.
Which means that the game's over anyway.
Yeah. I mean, kind of awkward because he had deck checked, so for top 8. All right, and Bryan packs him in. So here we are.
He packed them in.
Yeah.
So we're going into.
That doesn't blow off the tongue.
Well, I apologize.
Here we are. We're going into game 3. Now we were just talking about this earlier about how I feel Bryan has a big advantage in game 3 because he's on the play. He's a combo deck.
You can afford to play around days more. I mean,
it takes the Attic a turn later to kind of like Bryan is a turn 3 combo deck a lot of the time. Turn 2 Grim Monolith, turn 3 Hive Mind, kill you.
The only thing that really stops his turn 3 combo is turn 3, turn 4 combo is forcible.
Right, force or
conveniently not being.
Attic also would help.
Sure. He would need to draw it though, because it would cost 3 otherwise.
Well, but if James is on the play, he can get Garrett out under Bryan's.
Now on the draw, he would need to either draw his 2 of and drop it on 2,
or have Noble Hierarch on turn 1, I guess.
Yeah, Noble Hierarch turn 1 will do it. Turn 1 Noble, turn 2 Zenith.
Man. Yeah, I mean.
I messed it up for a bathroom break.
Yeah, go for it. So, looking at these deck lists, I mean, James has some ammo. Like those spell pierces are really big. But I still feel like Bryan's the favorite here.
James has to get a really good. He has to get pressure on the board, and then he has to have the right counter spells at the right time.
Right.
And a lot of that comes down to luck because that's not generally what this deck always does. Obviously, that's the dream, but.
I mean, the banned decks are all about like playing a guy and pressing the advantage with it.
Right.
So you have a guy, you back it up with Dazes, Spell Pierces, maybe some removal against other decks. And so I think that happens a fair amount of the time. The question is it going to be fast enough? Not only do you want to have that start, you have to have the perfect start because you can't just because you're losing your Swords to Plowshares, you're losing a lot of your classic ways to build that plan. You have to have Noble Hierarch into Vendelion Click or Noble Hierarch into Guy into Daze backup.
And one blue open for a Spell Pierce for a spell pierceable spell.
Right. It is a far different world. And, we still haven't seen in this match, Bryan Eleyet can just show and tell Emrakul on the play, too.
We keep forgetting about that part.
Now, it's important to note that Krakus is in James Rynkiewicz' deck. So, if he kept in Nether Reliquaries in a longer game, he could get Krakus, and that will beat the Emrakul. And also, if James just draws it and his opponent casts Show and Tell, he'll put Nether Reliquary on the battlefield, untap, and then go find Krakus.
Yeah, or put Krakus in the battlefield if you have it in your hand.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, I've known players who will just sideboard out that half of the combo in this matchup because they're worried about, sometimes it just doesn't do anything, it's not reliable at all. How do you feel about that, Rashad?
About sideboarding out the Emrakul?
Sideboarding out Emrakul, yeah.
I don't know, Emrakul is pretty good.
He's a decent creature.
You know what, they have 1 Krakus in their deck, and they have maybe, 4 Nether Reliquaries that have to become active in order for them to be,
3 in this list in particular.
Yeah. Well, 3, and you count the Green Sun Zeniths, but that's so many turns from when it actually is relevant, when you need it.
Right. I mean, the one thing that's relevant is basically I think you have 4 cards, and you can put one into play when your opponent Show and Tells.
Right.
So you have to have one of those 4 then, or you can play like a turn 2 knight or something like that.
Exactly.
Also.
And, I mean, show and tell, a lot of times, especially in this deck, it's a turn 2 play.
Yeah.
Turn 2. So that means, did you draw your 1 Caracas?
Well, no. How is it turn 2 in this deck?
Well, show and tell.
How is it turn 2 in this deck?
Show and tell?
Yeah.
Island, and then either City of Traders or Enchantment.
Oh, the lands. I'm looking at the spells, like making sure, I use this Grim model, right?
Well,
No, he's got the lands.
We're playing Legacy. Legacy, you can just do it with your lands.
I'm playing way too much standard.
Wait a minute. I don't see any Chrome Moxes.
Yeah, exactly.
Rite of Flames.
Yeah, there's no Rite of Flames in here.
Honestly, I was looking for Simeon Spirit Guide. I'm so used to the extended version. Like,
I
okay,
don't
if
see
you
any-
had Spirit Guides, you could do that.
I don't see any green chancellors in this deck. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Show and Tell actually has led to some pretty interesting stories on camera this year.
Yeah. Battle with Show and
The
Tell.
battle with Show and Tell a couple weeks ago. Even one day I saw it was I was sitting next to someone and the person went Show and Tell, put Emrakul into play, and his opponent put Kozilek into play, and then attacked him, wiped out all his permanents.
Yeah, that's good too.
Boom.
Show and Tell.
It's like, wait, I was supposed to do that.
Yeah, it was turn 1 too. Turn 1, Lotus Petal, Ancient Tomb,
Show and tell.
present Emrakul, and he's just like, yep, and there's Fight of the Eldrazi.
I mean, it's no show and tell in Battle Wits, but it's
That's
something.
true, yeah.
But what is really
What
like?
is? You know what? If you're playing Battle Wits, you should be playing show and tell.
I agree.
No, you shouldn't.
And Emrakul, we put Emrakul.
Yeah,
in
4
there.
Emrakuls in your choice.
Hey, whatever happened to that Battle Wits 43 land deck we were
I
building?
never had a chance to.
It'd be the most
I'm a
expensive
busy
deck in
man.
all.
Oh yeah,
history
we had
of the
all
game.
the dual lands.
Yeah, 4 of every duel. Yeah. Oh, this would be. This. Don't even give me ideas.
Oh, it's gonna be a spicy
Don't
one.
give me ideas.
Yeah, every land, it's gonna have.
4 Nomad
it's gonna
Coliseum.
have the Valakut combo in there. It's gonna have Seismic Assault. It's gonna be sweet.
Speaking of things we did last week, I heard that you were playing some Momorjora earlier.
Uh-huh.
How'd that go?
It was some interesting games. I mean, we only really win from misclicks. Like someone cast ill-gotten gains and they didn't know how to get cards back from the graveyard, so we just drew 3 cards.
Oh, awkward.
Awkward for them, awesome for us.
All right, so here we go, guys.
Here are the
game
finals.
3. This is the last game of this Grand Prix.
Yep. So here we are. So Brian keeps his hand. Is James going to keep his? Looks like it. So they're off to the races. Flooded Strand from Brian, and then probably a Ponder is the card shuffled in front of his hand.
Let's see. I mean, I didn't get a good view of either player's hand. Did you guys?
I saw some of Brian's hand. I saw the big one was Ponder. He shuffled, immediately put that at the front of his hand. He was like, I'm going to Ponder on turn 1.
Seems like a good.
By the way, 3,500 viewers.
This is our highest viewer count ever, right?
Highest viewer count ever.
viewers. Wow. Wow.
We have broken
That's a
the
lot of
record.
people.
Unless someone else is just randomly saying 3.5K for some reason. But I remember
That's the first place prize for a tournament, isn't it?
Oh, maybe that's what it is. But earlier it was 3,000. There was 3,200 people watching earlier, so I figured that maybe 200 people came on.
Came on since one more
It's
game
over
left.
3,000. It's still definitely a bigger
Over
show.
9,000?
It's not over 9,000.
Over
It's
3,000.
over
Alright.
3,000.
One day.
Looks like there's a misdirection setting in Bryan Eleyet's hand too.
That is misdirection.
So
yeah.
there's a Ponder. Ponder sees Brainstorm, Land, Ponder.
So for all of you out there who are wondering which Elemental Blast you should be using, you should not be using Hydro Blast or Pyro Blast. You should be using the Elemental Blast because they cannot be misdirection.
Correct. Very, very important.
And there's multiple misdirections in the top 8 of this Grand Prix. So I'm just warning you. Don't get misdirection.
Misdirection and Divert are cards that I saw played a lot this weekend.
Divert too,
actually.
yep.
Especially
more
for
than
him.
Cabal Therapy and Meddling Mage, I'd say, which is the reason we split them anyway. I think.
Exactly.
Yeah, and no one's gonna Meddling Mage or Therapy those cards anyway, because you're not gonna have them in against those decks.
All right. So Tundra from James, and then passes. Brian draws. Looks like he's got a Brainstorm sitting there. He's got a Summoner's Pact.
Let's see, Island, Brainstorms, Misdirection, City of Traders.
Maybe 2. Is that 2 Brainstorms?
I saw at least, yeah, there's 2 Brainstorms.
Two
Yep.
Brainstorms. So this game, Brian doesn't have the fast combo, but he's going to be able to bide his time, so that will craft the perfect hand,
Sure.
and then kill James.
If you look at these deck lists, they are each sharing, the only card they share in
Is
the main
that
deck
no
is
land
4
from James?
Brainstorm
Oh no, he had Wastelanded.
and 3 Mental Misstep.
One
These
cast
lists-
cost blue spells are really good.
So what James did there was he Wastelanded that Ancient Tomb.
He
so-
learned. He learned.
He learned.
Yeah, he
Well,
learned.
Wastelanding an Ancient Tomb is an immediate play. The Wastelanding the City of Traders is one that people have to think about because like that land's already gonna die.
No, that's called being greedy.
Oh yeah, I mean, I know.
Because no one lays a City of Traders and doesn't get that 2 mana out of it.
Sure, of
That's
course.
not happening
Yeah.
ever.
No,
Well, it might happen, but not usually.
I mean, wastelanding an ancient tomb is certainly the right in your face kind of play. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely do that.
No questions.
So he correctly responds with the brainstorm to that wasteland, so that need be that brainstorm gets dazed, he can pay for it.
Yep.
Or spell pierced.
And he puts back Summoner's Pact and Ponder. So he's probably going to shuffle that Summoner's Pact away. He has Pact of the Titan in his hand already. Titan is way better because James can't pay for that one.
Correct,
Or
yeah.
unless he has the Birds of Paradise. Asterisk, right? So he draws the Ponder. And we might see some pondering here. Play an island, Ponder. Or did you just run that island?
Does he have a Misty Rainforest in his hand?
I'm not sure if he does or not. Do you think you run?
I think he has a Misty Rainforest.
I think so. I think he does too. Yeah, there it is right
Definitely the right
there.
play to play Misty Rainforest for sure.
Oh,
Good to see
oh
more.
no, he just plays the island.
Well, now this Ponder, he knows one of the cards off the Ponder already. Maybe he's saving the Misty Rainforest for the Brainstorm.
All right, so there's a Spell Pierce from James Rynkiewicz.
He just insta does it to that Ponder.
It's like, maybe I want to do something in response.
This is gonna go for the Brainstorm action.
Brainstorm in response.
All right, I think that's probably why he played the island so he wouldn't shuffle, because he wants to save it for after brainstorming in case this series of events happen.
Sure,
That's
yeah,
a good
but I mean,
forethought
you would
for
see,
Bryan.
You would see one more card off the Ponder, I guess. I guess that it's not as good of a upside
Right.
to see one more card as to have the additional shuffle effect. Yep.
And now this is actually
good.
this is kind of sick though, because if he manages to, if he draws a force or something and wants to counter that Spell Pierce, he Brainstorm resolves first and then Ponder resolves. You can shuffle away the cards you Brainstorm, which is kind of
Oh,
cute.
that's sweet. Yeah, that is pretty
I don't know if that's actually good. Like I don't know if he really wants to force that spell or this direction that Spell Pierce here, but
Yeah.
it's kind of sweet to do that. All right, so let's see. All right, so here comes Brainstorm. Draws Summoner's Pact again, Grim Monolith, and Pact of Negation.
You play a land this turn, he played the island, right?
Yeah, he played the island. So he could put back some cards and then misdirect it. Would you do that here? You'd probably pitch the Pact of Negation. I think Pat's the only other option.
Can
is
you
take the
misdirect?
Pact.
Can you misdirect a mental misstep to itself?
It's a spell snare.
Oh, it's a spell.
Or
I'm sorry, I thought
sorry,
it's
spell pierce.
Okay, it's not a mental misstep. It's a
Yeah,
spell
you
pierce.
cannot misdirect it to itself though.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can't direct it to yourself. You have to redirect it to the misdirection.
Yeah, and which since misdirection costs 5, you can't redirect
A spell.
mental misstep. But since it's spell pierce, that can be redirected to mental
Yep.
misstep. Very weird, kind of weird how that works.
Yeah.
But it's good to know if you're playing with cards
No,
like
it's
that.
very good to know. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think he definitely wants to put that.
Okay. He opts to not do that.
Yep. Seems fine. So he's gonna redraw the misdirection on his turn.
And just passes. His hand is alright. So James pretty quickly cracks fetch land there. Finds a tropical
Is
island.
this a Gaddock? He seems pretty excited.
He if my opponent did that to me right now, I would think he's playing Gaddock. He could not crack that fetch line fast enough. Oh, it looks like Sylvan Library. Yeah,
well,
Sylvan
I like
Library.
that's an exciting card too.
Sylvan Library is,
Because you
Especially
just
yet again you
you
can
just draw
eight.
3.
Yeah,
You just draw 3
yeah.
cards in this
Yeah.
matchup.
Sylvan Li-
Brainstorm. Why bother? when you can
Sylvan
draw?
Library very exciting. Although if Bryan had a fast draw, it wouldn't be as good. But Bryan does not seem to have a very quick draw here. He's got a slower combo draw.
Yep. Which
And-
is the kind of draw Sylvan Library is good against.
Now, once again, he doesn't have a pack or he doesn't have a hive mind or anything to go with it like that.
But the thing about the draw that Bryan has, that I've found because I played a couple of games with it, all those packs that he has, as soon as he draws a hive mind, the game is over.
Right. Because
Hard
especially
cast,
he
hive
can
mind,
pack
and-
negation
yeah.
to counterspell.
Pack negation, misdirection, and extra packs just to make sure you
Yep.
just can't do
Yep.
anything.
Yeah,
I
but
agree.
now James here has 3 draw steps. Like I mean, 3. You know, he draws 3 cards this turn. He can draw up to 3 cards. If he hits a zenith, it's really good because
Dazes it. So he's.
days and he didn't pay for the days.
Oh, I think he's gonna crack that and pay for it. Yeah.
I saw him put something out. Oh, it must have been his pen. I thought he put something off.
And
the side.
that daze is interesting. He really wanted that Misty Rainforest to be cracked. I don't know if he thought he was hiding a hive mind, maybe on top.
Possibly.
Why would he hide it from Vidalian?
But Vidalian Click, yeah.
No, he would do end of draw phase anyway, so he would draw it anyway.
I mean,
I don't understand why he's setting
well,
himself back
no,
a
he,
land drop.
he would draw it, then he would play, and then he would play Vidalian Click. Yeah, I don't know.
Setting
Yeah,
himself back a land drop.
Well,
I don't get that play.
if you do things on the hive mind's player's turn, if they're going to win that turn, then they can use their pact of negations as free counter spells.
But look at this. If he draws any zenith off of this, he could have played Gaddock this turn. Whereas now he cannot unless he actually draws Gaddock.
He left Maze of Ithin? It
that's-
has no game effect, right?
Wow, that is well. You can combo it with
Neither
a Neither Rail Query to be able to
Seems
attack
terrible,
and
though.
activate.
anything has to be better than that. Crossing grip has to be better than that.
Yeah, I mean, he would happily cross the grip.
Oh, no.
Here, right?
Well, you can fog Emrakul.
And then dive the next turn.
Once. You can do it
I don't know
once.
about it. I think we're going to search at the land. I like
With all that damage you're taking
Karak.
off that Sylvan library, it might be relevant. Might not be able to take 15 like that, you know?
Alright, so looks like Bryan draws Ancient Tomb. And all he has to do is find his Hive Mind here. Are we going to see that some crazy top deck situation where he has to draw his Hive Mind on the last possible turn?
This tournament's been crazy enough as it is.
Yeah, certainly. So he keeps it in his hand, so on the turn he does draw a Hive Mind, he can play that out and be able to pay for a daze. I think he probably thinks that James has another daze in his hand based on how quickly he used the other one.
Well, now he knows he doesn't have a daze because he didn't use it again. He could have dazed a second time.
Right. I mean, it's possible. I still don't get, why would you daze there?
I don't know why.
Like, I just can't see James' motivation for doing that.
Neither can I. We're not the ones in the top 8 of a
Yeah,
Grand Prix.
or the finals of a Grand Prix.
Yeah, the
let
finals
alone.
of a Grand Prix, so yeah.
Oh, it looks like Karakis for James, so that Emrakul is not going to be doing
Caracas
a whole lot.
yeah, but not only that, but Caracas also can bounce Vendilion Click.
Yes.
And that'll really be a good one, because then his opponent would have to runner him.
Yep. Now James doesn't have Vanilla Click yet,
No.
but it's certainly a card he wants to see. With a Sylvan Library, he can find it pretty quickly.
It's still pretty exciting. This could be anybody's game right now.
Yeah, I mean, James doesn't have any pressure.
Yeah, I mean,
He's playing very careful.
he is playing carefully, yeah.
I mean, and this game could end at any moment if Bryan just draws a Hive Mind.
Yep.
Draws a Hive Mind, ponders into a Hive Mind,
Intuitions into a high mind.
intuitions into a Hive Mind. All right, let's see. He taps 3. Oh, he does have the V click.
Ooh, this.
He does have Vendilion Click. I would pack the negation.
I think you have to pack
You
it.
have to pack the negation of this.
Like you are not beating Click Karakis.
No, you are not.
Now it's possible. I guess he could let this one resolve,
No.
but that just doesn't seem right to me.
No, because then it takes the pack to negation,
Yeah.
and he might not have a counter for it
Yeah.
ever again.
Now I think Bryan might be kicking himself in the for not playing the Ancient Tomb last turn. 'Cause
He
then-
maybe should have saved the Ancient Tomb so he didn't get wastelanded. He didn't use that Ancient Tomb yet. He never used it this game.
well, no, but like he could have. He has one in his hand, I think.
Ancient Tomb?
Maybe not.
No, I
May-
I think he does have an ancient too.
Yeah, so he chose not to play it last
He's
turn.
sandbagging it.
Right,
Okay.
so it didn't get wastelanded. But if he had played it, he could pay for the pack and not have to waste his good monolith.
The wasting Grimald isn't much of a big deal because he can just wait and untap it.
Well, it does. It makes him. It takes one turn off his. If he draws Hive Mind, it makes him take one more turn.
Okay, yep, you're right. I still would have packed it there. Again, I'm not a good proficient with both these decks.
I would have
so-
definitely packed it there.
Right? Like,
I mean,
it's also a clock. Like, it's also representing 3 damage every
Like,
turn.
yeah,
right?
it's fast-
like your opponent has no creatures in play. You're taking away their discard spell and their clock.
yeah.
He's at 18.
Yeah,
He
I
is-
would have packed.
I would
Yeah,
have.
I would
Because-
definitely packed it there.
Because you could draw Hive Mind and then just
Yeah.
win and not even have to worry about paying for pack.
Right, and I mean, James has no other pressure, but like, I think Bryan was in a really good position right now.
Yeah.
But until that Vanilla Click came down, Karakis Vanilla Click is the way Bryan can easily win this game.
And like I
or,
say, he can
James
counter at
easily
any
win this
time,
game.
but like if James starts taking the counter spells out of his hand one by one and like leaving it up to chance that he tops the Hive Mind, like there's no way he can intuition for Hive Mind and play it all at once. Like James has time here.
So he just
I
said
think
keep him.
You just keep the hand. Is what he said.
Keep it.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess he just wants to make sure there isn't
so
a Hive Mind.
he did that on Bryan's turn. I guess maybe was Bryan worried about like not having the mana to pay for the pack? Like, is that something that
I
could
mean,
possibly happen?
Grim Monolith, Kasai Pride Mage.
Yeah, but then he still has the Ancient Tomb. He can still play 5.
No, having his Grim Monolith, Kasai Pride Mage, he can't play for back.
No, like you just play the Ancient Tomb.
Oh, then he would play. Wait, what phase? What phase
Yeah,
was that vanilla?
it was on Bryan's turn. You could just play the Ancient Tomb
End
afterwards.
steppers up and the draw step.
Yeah, I'm not.
If the vanilla was cast end of turn, he might be worried about the Kasai
I
Pride
think it might have
Mage.
been end of turn. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It took a while for that decision to be made, and anyway, brainstorm's happening here for James.
Yeah, I can't imagine James did it at the end of his draw step. That doesn't seem like the right thing to do here.
No, I agree.
People are just buying up Hive Minds. I guess on Magic Online, people are like, I bought 50 Hive Minds. I bought 32 Hive Minds.
Yeah, I have 100-something Hive Mind sitting at home.
Can I have 4 Hive Minds?
Can I have 4 Hive Minds?
Or just go buy them.
I guess right now they're still less than a ticket. You can get as many Hive Minds as you want. As many Hive Minds as the bot on Magic Online has for a ticket. They have, you know,
I mean,
seven.
I'm sorry to hurt all your ears. It's probably not going to go that high, right? It's like a niche card for that's
A ticket. It's got to be a
legal.
ticket.
It could probably hit a ticket, yeah.
Yeah. It'll just be like a bunch of other non-mythic rare fringe cards. Are there any others like that that are recently printed?
All right, so James has 4 lands now. He can start Caracasing that Vendilion click.
Yeah, I mean like.
Oh,
Ponder.
Ryan draws a Ponder. Oh, then Grim Monolith goes away.
It
It got Pride Mage.
Crossing Grip.
Or Crossing Grip.
Crossing Grip, yeah.
Crossing Grip. Mental Misstep on the
He just
Ponder.
throws that down.
Oh, this is looking bad for Bryan Eleyet.
Hey, but look at James's life. It's at 6. But James draws an extra card and goes below 4. He could die to an instant.
Pack to
Pack to the.
If he gets killed,
Look,
if he
he's
gets
at 4.
If he gets attacked by a Titan token,
Yeah.
I will flip the table.
He could actually lose to a Titan token right now.
Well,
He's at
he
4.
needs a red mana.
Oh,
He needs a red mana.
that would be the funniest thing.
That'd be an awesome end of this Legacy Grand Prix.
Awesome would be one word. Describe it.
Yeah. I think it'd be awesome. I'd love to see
It'd
that
be
happen.
hilarious.
Whew.
What does that card do?
That is a rough one.
Bounces the Titan
He's got the
token.
pack in his hand.
Is that what they call a planeswalker? Oh man,
Oh man, so now you can start Fate Sealing.
that's so
You can Fate Seal
gross.
and Vendilion click, so Brian's just never going to get anything, right?
Yeah, he can control which card he draws. No,
I mean, he can see 2 cards deep. Alright, he just puts it back. That's bad for Bryan
Jace the
Eleyet.
Mind Sculptor gets more of a bad rap because people are just going to complain about him winning the Legacy Grand Prix. Why does Jace win everything?
I love the deck. I love the name they came up for the blue-white Stoneforge deck. Standard still, like that is really awesome.
Standard still.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's really funny, actually. Who's the clever person who came up with that?
I would guess BDM if I had to guess.
He thought about that a week ago. He's like, well, if these card ever sees playing Legacy, Standard still.
Could also been Nate Price. Man, if you're Bryan Eleyet, how do you play yourself out of the situation? What do you think, Rashad?
I think you go for trying to set up the Titan win.
I mean, I think you have to, but you have to draw a Scalding Tarn to make that happen. You have to make him leave Scalding Tarn.
He's probably going to give you a land. If he sees a land on top, he's not going to go, no, put the land on bottom.
Yeah, no, he's definitely going to give him a land, yeah. I agree.
And, you know, the land could sit and play unsacrificed for a while to make it a surprise.
Now, obviously, the thing is he only has 1 turn with that Pact of the Titan token because...
It seems like they're talking to a judge about an oracle.
Because that Jace can bounce Pact of the Titan. I wonder, is the Oracle on Sylvan Library? I wonder what's interesting about that.
Oh, well, yeah. If Sylvan, I don't think there's been a Sylvan Library printed that actually says what the Oracle says.
Yeah.
And I believe that the 4 or 5 times it was reprinted, there's 3 different wordings on the actual card.
Is it
sometimes
triggered,
an activated trigger?
Triggered, activated,
whatever,
like, when you put cards
So
back
weird.
with it? The weird thing with Sylvan Library that's kind of messed up is that if you draw cards in your upkeep and then draw off Sylvan, you can put the cards that you drew in your upkeep back with your Sylvan Library.
Yeah, another thing you have to keep in mind is with Brainstorm, if your opponent has, I mean, it happens probably with James because he's playing both Brainstorm and Sylvan Library. If you Sylvan Library and then Brainstorm, you could put cards back. You have to have a judge watch. You have to like, call a judge over if your opponent does that. If your opponent has both in play.
Or keep your, make sure they keep them in very distinct piles, like.
Yeah, but they're allowed to put all the cards in their hand with the Brainstorm.
Right.
So all the cards go in your hand with Brainstorm because that's what Brainstorm says. You draw them.
Sure. Yeah. You have to have.
They don't have to be. They don't have to be separate piles. You can all put it in one clump. But the judge has to make sure you're putting 2 cards that you drew with Sylvan Library.
Yeah.
So just for all you guys out there, if your opponent has a Sylvan Library in play and on their upkeep for some reason they choose to Brainstorm with their Sylvan Library thing, have a judge watch it because they have to make sure they put the cards back.
In the meantime, James is down to 4 off that Sylvan Library, so he can't draw any extra cards anymore. But he drew all the cards he needed, it seems. He's in a really good position.
Of that Pact of the Titan? I don't think he's scared. I think he'll see it coming if it happens. It doesn't matter. He can attack with Vendilion, and he plays the Titan. He can bounce Vendilion
and replay it and block. Yeah.
So
And then Jace can bounce it.
And that's only if he draws.
And there's a
source.
Green Sun Zenith shuffling twice to find Gaddock.
I like the shuffling twice.
I think the Zenith is going to be for
Gaddock T.
Yep, it's going to be for Gaddock T.
Yep.
Oh man.
So now even if he show and tells Emrakul to play, he can bounce it with Jace.
Or
And he has the-
Caracas.
Or Caracas, and he has the answer. The Gaddock T will now answer the Hive Mind. So now he's
Yeah,
literally
this-
out of the game.
Yeah, I don't think Brian can win though. This is a really rough situation. I mean, I think maybe if you counter that Medallion Click, things are maybe a little different. But I think Jace is still such a huge problem for you.
Yeah.
Like,
That's true.
both of them.
It's funny how Galaxy works with Green Sun Zenith, because now James can never cast Green Sun Zenith again.
don't think he
Like,
needs to.
whoa, that's enough for that. I'm here now.
I want to be the only
Like-
one. I'm the
like-
last Zenith.
It's kind of like when you were like Court of Calling up Gaddock Teague back in the Elf deck. Like,
You're like, all right, party's over. I'm
You
here to-
shuffle it back in, hope you
Yeah.
don't draw it again.
and there's another Reliquary too. So James, I think that's lethal for Brian next turn.
It is.
That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that's lethal next turn.
Looks like Brian just couldn't put the pieces together this game.
Another
There's
pact attack.
Another pact.
Yeah, we cast a lot of packs.
He can not die on James's combat phase. He can die on his upkeep if you so chooses. James cannot get through those packs of the Titans.
He can be like, look, I've got 3 4/4s. You have no blockers. You're at 4 life. Like, concede. You know? Like, clearly I've got you dead. Like, we don't need, do we really need to play this out?
We don't need.
Like,
You don't need to pass the turn yet. Just concede.
it's a foregone conclusion. All right, yeah, there we go.
And James Rynkiewicz wins the
Wow.
what seemed to be
Wow.
an
Gone from
unwinnable
losing-
matchup for him. Oh my
yeah.
God!
Gone from losing to
That's
AJ
nuts.
Kerrigan to winning a Grand Prix. Amazing what that transformation that had.
You know what it is? It's because his mom was watching and rooting him on.
Yes, so your boy done good. Your boy done good.
We're proud of him too.
Proud.
All right, let's see if we can get Grand Prix champion
Yes,
James
great
Rynkiewicz
job.
in the booth. Talk with
Want me
us.
to grab him over here?
Yeah, somebody grab him.
I'll get him.
And you guys can do a little interview with him also about and allow Rashad.
I'll do an interview. Yeah, I'll do an interview with him.
Man, what a Grand Prix.
I'll leave the recording going. We'll keep the interview will be at the end of the match. That's going. I guess I could
Awesome.
move the screen back to us.
Hey everybody,
Hey, look at that.
look at how
That
pretty
was-
we are.
That was awesome.
That was awesome. I mean, although
Wait. How many people you think right now are selling all their hive minds? Like, oh my God, what am I gonna do with all these hive minds I bought? I bought 100 hive minds.
here's the trick: you buy the hive minds, you sell them to somebody else looking to buy all the hive minds. They're like, well, yeah, I want to buy 100 hive minds. Like,
Like,
perfect, I have them for you. Like,
I'll give you a deal. 1 ticket. maybe 2 tickets. You can get 2 tickets.
I mean, I think they're like 0.8. I want to say 0.08.
0.08. That's how much they're going for.
Yeah.
So that's like
You can get like
12,
11, 12, 11, 12.
12 is 96, right?
Yeah, something like that. Wow. Cool stuff.
All right, actually, I'm probably going to pause this recording because it usually takes a long time for the match to end, for them to get over here because everyone's trying to take pictures.
And you know, there's the whole trophy to be given out.
Or maybe we'll stick around. We'll just let the.
So you know, yeah. So what's up, Rashad?
What is up? I have had an awesome weekend, even with having a cold and losing my voice, not being able
Hey,
to talk.
I got a cold too. We're buddies.
But we're cold buddies. It's like when you're in Paris. Oh, you didn't.
I heard everyone got sick
Yeah,
in Paris.
you didn't want to be cold buddies with anybody in Paris. That was a miserable thing. But yeah, this is awesome. We got to see the Hive Mind deck in action. We get to see it. We get to see it win with Hive Mind, and we also get to see it.
Fizzle on the pass.
Yeah, fizzle to a blue deck without Force of Will.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. If you thought Force Will needed to keep that deck in check, apparently that's not the case.
You don't need Force of Wills to beat this deck.
Just spell pierces.
Or Vidalia clicks, spell pierce, days. That's all it takes. Those are the real control elements in this legacy. So how was your weekend?
I had a good weekend. Tournament did not go so good for me. It was actually, I think it might be my worst Grand Prix points of all time.
That's not good. That's not what I want to hear.
No.
Do we need to change the subject to something more cheerful?
This is all I'm gonna say. I stayed in a room with Sam Black and AJ Soccer, and we all played the same deck, the bug deck that AJ Soccer's been using in the Open Series, and we all felt that was pretty bad afterward. So don't play bug. That's the moral of the story.
Well, the thing about playing bug is you don't have white for Stoneforge Mystic.
Yeah, so we were talking about that. You cut the green and add white. So take out Tarmogoyf for Stoneforge Mystic and just play Batter Skulls and stuff.
It's probably a lot better.
Might be okay. Yeah.
Tarmogoyf is not the guy. He's not the man that he used to be.
Yeah, I mean,
or maybe
Stoneforge Mystic.
You play green white Tarmogoyf's Stoneforge Mystics. How about that deck?
And maybe add some blue from Vendelion Clicks. Could that be a thing? Could that be a thing?
Sure.
Yeah.
But no Force of Wills.
Now can we add Battle of Wits?
Now we got to add a whole bunch of cards. In which case, everybody's in. You know what? I think I'm going to put Stoneforge Mystic in my 43 land Battle of Wits deck.
How many sweet equipments can we play? Can we get like Blinding Powder or Shuriken? Blinding Powder or Shuriken? Can we get those in Stoneforge Mystic? What are the best equipments we can get?
Other than Battle Skull?
Ladies and gentlemen,
When I count Battle Skull.
Yeah, I mean, not the obvious
results
ones.
for Grand Prix Providence.
They're announcing the winner right now.
Yeah.
Your runner-up,
I don't think we're going to be able to
Bryan
wait around
Eleyet,
for the interview, unfortunately.
and your Grand Prix Providence champion,
That's it.
James Rynkiewicz.
Congratulations.
I got me coming over now.
Right now?
Yep,
Okay.
James is going to be coming over here in like 2 seconds. He's walking over.
Sweet. Well, it looks like James is going to be in the booth.
A whole wave of people jumped on top of him.
Whoa, he's not a
it's-
real big dude. How do you hold
It's
all
pretty
those guys up?
tall. It's pretty tall. But yeah, James, the practice pays off.
Yeah, I mean,
He's testing a lot, knowing Legacy inside and out.
knowing Force of Wills to take out.
Yeah. When to cut the Legacy staple, as you would.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. It's crazy. So now what happens, you know? Like, starts the game's Invitational next week.
Well,
Where do we
a
go
very
from here?
a very fair deck won, so that's good news for
But a
everybody
pretty
who likes to
unfair
play
deck was
Magic
in the
fair.
final,
That's
so-
true. Yeah.
Very fair. Not even free counter spells. It's the fairest of decks.
It was pretty fair. And actually, I don't know how expensive was it. If I were building that deck, was it pretty expensive?
And there are no
Just
Force
the
of
dual
Wills.
lands? No Force of Wills, just
Dual lands, fetch lands, Caracas,
Yep.
Nether Reliquaries. I mean, there's some expensive cards in there, but you do get to avoid, $200 for Force of Wills. At least it's not on Magic Online where it's $800 for Force of Wills.
It's about 400 for Force Wills here. Like they're like 80 bucks each.
I thought Force was like 56.
No.
Really?
Nope. They're buying them for 50s.
Oh, there you go. This are more like.
But yeah, the Legacy staples.
Man, I should sell some of my Force Wills. I have like 12.
No, you shouldn't. If you said that beforehand when they were 50, you would have been like, no, you're doing a set. You should just hold on to your Legacy stuff. Hold on to your Legacy stuff,
This
kids.
is going to keep going up.
Just stick it in your
If you
box.
sell it
But,
now,
but
it's
if
gonna
people
go up.
stop
It's
playing
just
the
gonna
Force
go
Wills, clearly it's not correct to play Force of Will anymore.
I think it's correct for some decks to play
Yeah,
Force of Will.
Let's be real here. There are only 2 decks in the format now: Force of Will and not Force of Will. And not Force of Will is one of the third. Or you can be playing with Hive Mind, which also plays Force of Will.
Yeah, but that Force of Will deck's pretty sweet.
That's pretty sweet. Force of Will.
Pretty sweet. You know
So-
what? I play that if I'm just gonna get second in a tournament in the Grand Prix, I'll still play Hive Mind.
Yeah.
So is that the first time a non-established pro has won a Legacy Grand Prix? They said that's what it was.
Yeah, I think that's about
All
right.
6 of them have been won by an established pro player.
Yeah, there's an article on the week that was this week about it, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Now this is the new week that was.
It's true.
Or weekend that was.
Week that is.
The week that is and will be the week that was.
Yes.
Next week.
But last week it was the week that will be. Touche, my
Oh,
friend.
this is too complicated for me. I can't figure that
It's
out.
getting pretty deep. It's like Inception. Even though I haven't watched that movie yet, it's still sitting in my Netflix.
It's really good.
It's a really good movie.
But I mean, it's fair. I haven't watched Rounders yet. You need to watch Inception. So.
It's on Netflix.
GP main event judges to the main event stage.
All right.
GP main event judges.
I don't think we're gonna be able to get an interview.
I'll try not to go get him, I think, but it's unclear where he went.
Okay, we'll try waiting around some more. So, best memory for the weekend?
Best memory for. Wait, I just got in the booth for the finals. I guess.
Huh?
You're just doing a trophy shot.
Oh, here he comes.
Yeah.
Okay.
James. Woo! Like he's even holding up his trophy.
Dude, yeah, that's pretty impressive, man.
That is a big trophy.
He almost top 8'd the last one in Columbus. He was lost last round playing against Bryan Eleyet.
But what great stories there are from this event too. A lot of awesome top 16 players.
Yeah,
Blue 11, 10th place.
Yeah.
Two just outside of the top 8.
Yeah, a lot of interesting decks.
I think my favorite story was when we opened a Better Scroll live on the.
Did that happen?
stream. That did happen. It's in my EDH deck right now.
Ooh.
Did you guys play the Gerard Fabiano
Open a pack?
Open Up Pack game?
Yeah, we did.
You got a batter skull?
We got a Better Scroll.
Did someone predict it would be a batter skull?
No, I don't think so. Maybe. I don't think there was a prediction, but it was a Better Skull, and now my Godo deck is that much sweeter.
Batter skull is a pretty sweet card. What is batter skull up to now? It's got to be insane, right? Playing Legacy Standard.
It's probably going to be more wanted.
He says 1 second.
1 second. All right, fair enough. Well, wait 1 second.
We'll wait one more second for James.
That's pretty crazy, though. He was winning going in second place in the Swiss and took down that whole top 8.
Yeah, I wonder what he played against on his way here. I actually, but everyone knows what next the Hive Mind guy played against on his way here. Like Bryan Eleyet.
He said he played against Merfolk 5 times, and
Wow.
he went 3-2 against it.
Wow.
The only 2 matches he lost, besides in the finals here, were to 2 Merfolks.
Alex, just like the most important thing for me is knowing the Merfolk matchups of this deck.
It's just another show and tell deck. It's just another show and tell deck. It doesn't matter what they're putting into play. We'll get them.
All right, here we are with the champion. I'll step
Yay,
out.
James.
Congratulations.
Dude, that's awesome.
Congratulations.
Me and James play legacy events together in New York all the time, and he's always a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, we want to congratulate you for winning what seemed to be an unwinnable matchup for you.
Yeah,
because we were watching you looking at the deck list, and you're just...
You know,
Yeah.
whatever.
Whatever.
No, tell me what you were thinking when you were looking at this deck list. What was the plan you were coming up with in your head as to what you were going to do?
My teammates told me to play Birds of Paradise as fast as possible so I could pay for packs, and to daze the copy of their packs.
Yep.
And
Sure.
of course on game 1 I tap out on turn 2 and
Yeah.
I had like,
They didn't give you that point where you
Forgot that part
you have
there,
to daze
yeah.
your own spell and have a mana up.
To pay for theirs, exactly.
my bad.
To be fair, he also had a blue pack in his hand. So.
Oh.
Yes, you were dead anyway that
No,
game.
I was dead
he's-
anyway, guys.
Yeah, he still had
Yeah.
all these, so you don't have to feel that.
Just
bad.
play better next time, all right, bro? Jeez.
Okay. They can't see that there's 10 people in front of the
Oh
game.
yeah,
So,
he's
He
got
has a
fan
whole
base.
little fan base here. Yeah, exactly.
Like 4.
He didn't have enough blockers for all those packs,
Nah,
though. That was
I mean,
his mistake. I mean, he should have just flashed them all in there.
Was there any point where you were thinking, I go down to 4 life, you get your draw cards off of your silver library, you get down to 4 life, the pack total is 4/4.
I mean, I knew every card in his hand as he was drawing them.
Yeah. He
So
knew that he needed to not only draw, he needed to draw a red source. It would need to be a 5th land. It needed to
If it was a red source, then I would have just left a blocker back. Like I had Knight in my hand the whole game. I just I was trying to make him actually play the Pact negation on the Green Sun Zenith so I could
Yeah.
wasteland his ancient.
Game 1, I think you should just wastelanded that City of Traders, though.
I didn't think I was gonna win.
You didn't think you were gonna win?
Not that game.
Well, so you
Like
just
a mental
I mean,
misstep in my hand.
I know, but I mean,
You know,
Crazy
I think
things have
1
happened.
days, right?
we saw you draw that Kasai Pride Mage against Paulo.
Oh, I can't swear on camera.
Please stop, because I don't want to have to go back and edit these things. We try not to edit anything. So what's next for you? What's the next big tournament you going to?
The Invitational, I don't know if I'm entering though, because I've never played Standard. I played the last Invitational and went 4-3 drop.
No. You went 4-2 drop.
Or
You were very much
4-2
contention.
drop. 4-2
Okay.
drop, so I could play, and the next day Legacy 5K,
Yeah.
and then I tap 4 split.
I was 4-2 in that event too, and he just dropped. I'm like, dude, don't drop.
So no Nagoya for you? You're not going to
No.
Nagoya. But you are qualified for Philly now.
Yeah, we'll be going to Philly.
Damn right. Yeah.
Awesome. Is this your first pro tour? How many pro tours is your pro? Yeah.
This is the first one.
First one, congratulations.
I mean, I only really play Legacy, so it's gonna be.
This is his chance.
Yeah, I mean, it's good that a Legacy player can get to play on a pro tour from playing Legacy.
Yep.
Agreed.
He almost got there last year too. I mean, and he's
No,
really showing it.
I was playing the last round versus Brad Nelson, and he Gerard's verdict me with a Knight in the table.
Gerard's, that was the card. I was
And
telling you the
discarded
story.
last
Yeah.
Tundra,
I was telling
My
the story
dad.
that if you would discard a tropical island instead of a tundra,
would've been in tundra.
he would not be the player of the year race.
Yeah.
He would not be the player of the year. Like, all you had to do was discard a tropic. It was unbelievable.
So any parting words, any shout outs, any stories, or anyone you want to
Your mom,
say hi
shout out to
to?
your mom.
Shout out to my mom because she's probably crying right now.
Oh, see that, that's
John
Aw,
Barber.
yeah.
Not Paul Late. All the Rochester crew and Drew Levin. The deck is good. I don't care what you say in your article next week. And Alex Berncini for being Alex Berncini.
Yeah, that's right.
No one thought I was gonna.
Dude, that matchup looks
I mean,
so
to be
bad
honest,
for you.
You looked at those 2 deck lists, and I'm like,
You see me look at
how
Polo's
are you
deck
gonna
list?
win?
That one,
Pernicious Dean's main deck.
that one, I said it. If he stumbled at all, you're gonna run him over, and sure enough, he stumbled and you ran him over. But the finals one looked really terrible for you.
All right, so congratulations again. Don't eat cereal out of this thing. I know you want to. I know you
Yeah.
want to drink some
Why
beer.
not?
It's like lead poisoning and crap. It's like really dangerous.
It's not good for you. It's
I
not
would have been
good.
doing this for a
Don't
long
drink
time.
out of it tonight,
Don't
guys.
drink out of it.
Do not drink out of
Looking forward to see you in Indy next weekend and in Philadelphia.
Thank you. And shout out to Jupiter Games. That was almost bad.
Well, I'm gonna be getting out of here too. So
All right, so thanks for joining us.
No problem,
We'll-
guys. Pretty
we'll
sweet
see you
tournament.
next
See you next weekend, guys.
And that's gonna be it for Grand Prix Providence. We're done. I want to thank all of our sponsors. I want to thank TCGplayer.com, who has this awesome ticker that's right here. I want to thank the GamingEtc.com. They want you to play Kibler. I want to thank Game Academy Online. Shop with them. They're awesome. And obviously, TJ Collectibles, which is TJCollect.com. Visit those guys. They're actually great TOs. They do great things out in the New England area. So then again, thanks a lot. The next broadcast is going to be on ggslive.com. It's going to be a Star City event, and that's going to be next weekend in Indiana. The next GG's Live broadcast will be GP Kansas City. So make sure you know what, just go to ggslive.com, follow us on Twitter. We'll always be there. So thanks a lot, and we will see you soon.